This race is brought to you by Protexol, proud sponsor of the SVT Renegade Racing League. Join our live broadcast every Sunday on the Slide Job Racing Network. Season 3 is underway now. Our lobby opens at 6:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and racing begins at 7. For more information about the league or to join, follow SVT Renegade Racing on Facebook. Protexol. It delivers, people act. Visit Protexol.com to learn more. Enjoy tonight's race.
The penultimate race of SVT Gen6 Renegade Racing heads to the Commonwealth of Richmond, Virginia, where the penultimate race is shaping up to be a good one and every position matters. Welcome to Richmond Raceway, and we're so glad you could join us on Slide Job Racing Network. Marty Sakala with you. It's been a little while since we've last done a broadcast on the Slide Job Racing Network for SVT action. Last week we had some scheduling conflicts with stuff that came up at the last second, so we were unable to do that. A couple of weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, broadcast, race had some scheduling issues on the other end, and so we're back here at Richmond. Short track, 2 races left on the calendar, and every point matters. As I said, you're on board with Mark Morton, and the reason why we're on board with him, he's your points leader coming on in. When we pull up the points, 6 points between Morton and Casey coming on in. Dalton Steele also a part of the championship picture. Likely will have to win today if he wants to get back into the hunt. But we should be in for a fun one today, that's for sure, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Morton making his way off at turn number 4. Quickest time of anyone on lap number 1. He's second quick. For my end, Jeff Ledford 10th. He's working on lap 2 as things stand. Break down everything here for you in just a matter of moments. But Morton making his way off at turn number 4. This is a better lap. Did he take it on the pole? He did. Mark Morton, your points leader coming on into tonight, is on pole position. That is a huge one. We'll pull up what happened last week, as we are 1 lap to green. The drivers are all loaded up, and with that being said, gives us the opportunity to take a look at your starting lineup for tonight's race. Mark Morton on pole position in car number 48. His time of 21:3:11. Next to him, it's Joseph Causey in car number 8. Row number 2, it's Johnny Hurst in the number 58. Next to him, it's Jacob Plank in the 153. Row 3, Michael Casey in car number 6. Next to Rick Baldwin, he's in the 19. Row 4, it's Dom Salvo in the 24. Next to Paul Helms in car number 64. Row number 9, James Wagner in the number 30. Next to Jeff Ledford in the 01. Row 6, Bradley Worley, who is in the 88, next to Bill Porter making his debut in the 156. Row 7, Greg Jolly in the number 13, next to Jeff Scott in the 38. Row number 8, Richard Hartman III in the 52, next to Jonathan Vandenberg in the 26. Starting 17th, Andrew Freeling making his debut in the number 11. Stephen Shue and Matthew Worrall not making the call to grid, so either they'll start from the pit lane or he will not take the green. So field rolls off here as we are getting ready to go racing. Last week's series went to Charlotte Motor Speedway, and Joseph Causey became a 3-time winner this season, but well renowned on the intermediates this year. Causey not with us this evening, but Mark Morton starting from pole position. Michael Casey starting from 6th. We'll have 1 lap till we take the green flag. Look at your race info for tonight. 120 laps, 90 miles or so. This is important. The fuel window was 130 laps, so should this race go to regulation, we will not have any fuel stops needed. But if we do get a bunch of overtimes, likely drivers will have to pit. Drivers do have a bunch of sets of tires. 5 sets with them this evening during cautions or whatnot. And all the drivers as well, they do have one quick repair this evening. Glad you could join us for this one on the Slide Job Racing Network. Let us know who you're rooting for in the chat as we're moments away from going green. Morton and Causey make up the front row as we say, where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Penultimate race at Richmond. It's showtime. Advantage to Mark Morton off of turn number 2. Joseph Causey in second. Jacob Plank third. Top 3 all single file. Johnny Hurst meanwhile up the hill. Michael Casey looking for an opportunity. Dom Salvo is loose off of turn 4. A little bit too much gas coming off the corner. Lap number 1 led by the 48. Your best races right here as they're side by side for 4th. One up at the wall. That was Helms, the number 64. Drops back to 12th after starting from 8th. Rick Baldwin up to 5th. Not a good start for Johnny Hurst in the Toyota number 58. Down in the 6th position. No Dalton Steele with us this evening, so likely he'll have to use this race as a drop. And oh my God, we got one around. That's the 38 of Jeff Scott. And first caution flag is out. Nope, I'm sorry. That is James Wagner in car number 30, who brings out our first yellow of the night. Wagner inside the top 5 in points, I believe, coming on in. And a very consistent driver throughout the season, just hasn't really been able to find the podium. 4th in points coming on in, just about 74 back. So field slows up as everyone catches up to the pace car. Let's get another look at what happened to the driver, the number 30. Off of turn number 2, I think. Did he just lose it? Yep, rear end just came out from underneath him. And this is a heavy hit right here. Now, if the car stayed below the yellow line, we would have stayed green. However, though, that's not the case. Let's watch another angle of that in real time. Take you on board with the number 30. Try everything to keep control. If I'm Wagner, I don't know if I'd use the quick repair this early on, but then again, with it being a short track, may want to take it now, and looks of it, I believe he did take the quick repair, and so driver number 30 stuck in the back. One driver decided to pit. That was Greg Jolly in car number 13. Over 10 viewers watching. Thanks for joining us. And the Michael Casey fan club is back with us tonight. Justin rooting for Michael. If you ain't first, you're last. And same with Renee. Casey currently in the 4th spot after starting in 5th. And again, as I mentioned, even with the drops in effect, 6 points separate Morton and Casey coming on in. And again, like we've mentioned, Casey 2 wins on the season, Morton with 1 that came in Michigan. And they've had some really good battles throughout the year. Coming back to the green flag this time by, so we will try this once again. Got a couple laps in early here at Richmond. And it is Mark Morton and Joseph Causey, row 1. Jacob Plank and Michael Casey, row 2. Rick Baldwin, Johnny Hurst, row number 3. Dom Salvo is next to Jeffrey Ledford. That's row number 4. Bill Porter and Bradley Worley round out the top 10. Morton, the control car off for turn number 4, ready to bring us back to the green flag. Here we go. Kate Morton able to hold serve. Both grooves are possible here at Richmond, the first and second groove. Third and up, not really the best, but a run from Jacob Plank underneath on Causey for second. Causey sent it in deep and kept his foot on the throttle. He's onto that runner-up spot. Of course, Jacob Plank was a big storyline a couple weeks ago on Slide Job Racing Network, taking home the win. I should actually say stealing the win, to be specific, with a win at, I believe, was it Michigan? No, at Texas, Legacy, Texas. As Plank's back in third. Again, been a while since we've last done an SVT race, so just trying to get our foot back into things. Michael Casey shows his nose underneath. Tries to take that third spot. Remember, right now, every position's everything, so as things would stand, Mark Morton, without a drop beat in effect, has an 8-point advantage over the driver of the number 6. Saw Rick Baldwin clear Dom Salvo into turn number 1. Everyone's following Casey, but you saw him get a little bit squirrely off of turn number 2, able to hang on to it. Great season so far for Casey, in my opinion. He's been the best driver on the year for the SVT series. Fortunately, some bad results have put him a little bit farther back in the point standings. And so that's the reason why he is back in third. Hello to Elizabeth tuning in, watching Andrew Watch first start with us on the Slide Job Racing Network. Just getting a feel for the Gen 6 ride, currently in 16th position. Morton still out in front, 4/10 of a second advantage on Joseph Causey. Want to ride on board for a lap with the driver of the number 8 coming off at turn number 4. We'll ride in car here with Causey. Again, very tough track in the Richmond Raceway. 3/4 oval, shaped like an intermediate just a little bit. And it's really all about hitting your marks. Not getting loose, not getting too tight, just trying to follow the driver in front of you and not making a mistake. Every moment you have is critical. This is a track that's been very tough to pass in recent years. This is what they call a qualifying track, if you understand what I'm saying. But I mean, Casey's been the best driver, as I mentioned, amongst the full-timers. But amongst the part-timers, you would have to say Joseph Causey with 3 wins on the season. Been an incredible year for him. As a change for position, Paul Helms and Bradley Worley. Helms just got past the number 88 for 11th. Brand new scheme on that 88, been known for the camouflage ride. Now it's put on the All-Star Game colors from when Dale Jr. had the win, the 2001 Pepsi 400. And hello to Ryan tuning in. We're rooting for Bradley this evening. So now Plank and Baldwin have separated from each other big time. And now we focus on the race for both 3rd and 5th. Again, as I mentioned, no pit stops, fuel stops I should say, expected in this race. A lot of tires up for sale whenever we get yellow flags. So something to keep in mind. Here comes Salvo with the run underneath. We saw him get a little bit loose off of turn number 2, on board with the GM Goodwrench colors, and he takes away the spot from Rick Baldwin. And now you see he's loose once again, hanging onto that car. A lot of wheel spin. Baldwin shows his nose underneath, and I think he had to step out because the leaders were approaching Freeling in the 11, who goes a lap down. Helms is making a charge here early in the back of the field, trying to break into the top 10 on Jeff Scott. Remember, Helms cracked the wall earlier, and speaking of walls, you see Jeff Scott ride it in turns number 3 and 4. So Helms makes his way up to 10th. Drivers were told, first thing the drivers were told in the drivers' meeting this evening was very simple. It's your second to last race of the season, and it's going to be a tough race. This is a short track. Have some patience. Take it easy on each other. Don't win it in the first corner, stuff like that. That's what Daniel Pinkston, our race director, told everybody. continue to watch this race for third position. Again, Plank staying really consistent, really conservative, trying to force Michael Casey into making a mistake. Believe he is also live streaming on Twitch, so if you want an onboard of what he's doing, you can check that out throughout the broadcast. But the question I'm wondering is here, you know, how long will these tires last for all the drivers here? That's the big question I am wondering. Will drivers have to pit under a green flag cycle to get fresh tires, even with the none of a fuel situation? We'll just have to see. You saw Wagner make a pass on the high side on Worley to take away 12th. Now underneath on Jeff Scott for 11. Remember, Wagner caused the first yellow of the race. Richmond has been known in the past to be a track that's known for the long run. A lot of pit stop strategy, a lot of differing strategies. Like if you look at, for example, Richmond back in, I think it was 2022 in the spring, when Denny Hamlin took the win over William Byron. Completely different strategies. Denny Hamlin had the freshest tires in the end and took the checkered flag. Johnny Hurst makes his way past Jeff Ledford, makes his way up to 4th. Ledford's been a key driver all season long, picking up a win at Auto Club Speedway. Whenever he's running up in the front of intermediates, he always has a shot at winning it. Of course, Johnny Hurst took the win at the season opener at the World Center of Racing at Daytona, but not been able to get the job done since then. I don't know if we have been able to talk with them on the podium since then. So I do not know. Good to see, though, at least NASCAR back in action as last night Clash of the Coliseum got underway in LA. And congratulations to Denny Hamlin on taking the win. A lot of wild storylines out of that for the Ty Gibbs, Joey Logano beef. And with Clash to go for one more year, we'll just have to see. I noticed something interesting off of Joseph Causey. Let's ride on board with him once again. And you can hear it sounds like an electric car in there because he's pushed the clutch in. I think he's trying to set up in case we have a lot of overtime sessions. Of course, the fuel window, there's no fuel margin set for under 100%. So everyone will go about 130 laps as we were told by NASCAR, from what NASCAR gives us for the data earlier on. So, but Causey's saving some fuel, staying conservative. Now, if you ride on board with Mark Morton in the number 48, so the engine's still going. It's still receiving American ethanol in that going through that engine. So we're 30 laps through in this one. Biggest mover of this race so far, Bill Porter in number 156, making his first start on the Slide Job Racing Network. The Connecticut native started in 12th. He is up to 9th, up 3 positions. And that's why I say that this is a qualifying racetrack. Oh, one up in the wall there you saw was Ledford. Again, he's off to a good start 10th up to 8th. And he's been running that high line a lot these past few laps. I wonder if he is struggling on the long run with these tires. Again, fixed setups for the series. You gotta try and get a good feel for your tires. And again up in the wall. Hopefully Bill Porter is understanding what's going on here as we're right on board with them. Ledford on that third groove. That is just completely not going to work unless you're trying to be like Ross Chastain and Hale Melinek. We are starting to see a battle for the lead here. Joseph Causey has stayed consistent on that back bumper of Mark Morton for this entire run. If we pull up the graph here of these last 10 laps, you can just see how consistent it's really bends the gap down to 0.2 of a second. But something Joseph Causey has been known for a lot is the long runs. We saw it at Kansas when he picked up his first win of the season. That was a mostly green flag race. And there's also a lot of lap traffic the leaders have to deal with, too, at the same time. On board with the runner-up driver. Drivers just, top two, both just put a lap down on Jeff Scott in that 38. Again, Morton in that big title race with Mike Casey for the championship. For our calculations, we have it at 8 points as things stand. Morton, by the way, every week always has a different paint scheme. Grew up a Jimmy Johnson fan, still a Jimmy Johnson fan even when he's in the 84 Toyota. And driving the Power of Pride's car in that Jimmy had in his final race with Hendrick. But here comes Causey for the lead as the top two door to door. Your first lead change of the evening. Give it to the 48. Oh, excuse me, give it to the 8. So now Morton falls back in line, back in second. And should Causey come away with this win today, he will clinch most wins of the season. Second caution flag is out, and it's for Bill Porter. And that is near the same spot that Wagner went around, but just a little ways past there. Let's take a look and show you what happened with Porter in the 156. All alone, and then that doesn't give us the best angle. Let's see what this angle off of turn 1 can give us if we go into slow motion. Yep, he just got a little bit sideways and just lost it. Head onto the wall, you see Paul Helms, first car behind him. Does he take evasive action? Which he does. We'll watch Porter's onboard in just a moment, but leaders are all on pit road to use their first set of tires this evening. So Causey could not have taken the lead at a better time than that. Causey will be the first off the jacks here. And I think Morton won the race off pit road. That's the advantage of starting on the pole. You have pit box number 1. That's followed by Causey, Casey, Salvo, excuse me, Plank, Hurst, Baldwin, Wagner, Ledford, and round out the top 10 is Bill Porter, even despite the spin. But Bill Porter causes caution number 2. As we will go to a commercial break. We'll be right back for the restart. Stay with us on Slide Job Racing Network.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Smooth sculpted lines, impressive hardware, aggressive stance. It can only mean one thing. 'Tis the season to get out and tailgate. Right now at every Bob Johnson, buy any new or used truck We'll throw in a mafia-ready folding table absolutely free. Bob Johnson, this is where the savings are.
Bob Johnson.
We start with fresh, never frozen ground beef, follow it with our homemade meat hot sauce, and finish it with your choice of toppings, always made to order. Our world's greatest cheeseburgers will make you say,
Gimme, 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 feel great.
Coming back to the green flag, this time by Mark Morton, Joseph Causey on row number 1, Dom Salvo and Michael Casey, row 2. Row number 3, Jacob Plank and Johnny Hurst. Row 4, James Wagner and Rick Baldwin. Rounding out the top 10, Jeffrey Ledford and the 52 of Richard Hartman. Field making their way off at turn 4, 44 laps in the books. And Mark Morton brings us back. Here we go. Best restart he's had this evening without question as he catches the 8 sleeping. Causey, did he cut in front of Casey? He did. First side-by-side battle happening just around the top 10. Ledford underneath Wagner. Nice rebound Wagner's had since the first yellow of the day. And now Ledford wants more. Up to 6 past Johnny Hurst. And now Hurst starting to feel the intensity of a pair of Mustangs behind him. And both Plank and Wagner. Now the 153 takes away 7. Just had our quickest lap of the day set by Michael Casey. 21:40. Of course, under the lights here, track temperature goes down each and every minute. The lights go on. The speeds go up. So Casey with the small advantage. There are bonus points in this series. We'll have to double check, though, with the rules and just make sure that fastest laps do receive the bonus points, and they do. It'd be 3 bonus points towards leading a lap. Again, if you start on the pole, which Morton did, he gets 3 points. Leading a lap, which Morton has, is a point. Leading the most laps right now is still the 48 at the moment. As he's led all but about 2 or 3. Again, 0 instant points is also a key thing too. How about that 24 of Dom Salvo? Have not talked about him a lot. He started in 7th. He's made his way up to the 4th spot. A nice charge for him, a quiet charge throughout the field. And now he's starting to approach the top 3. However, the last time by, Casey was 400s better, but staying up there with your 3 best cars out here on the track. You watch the race for your top spot. 4 cars all separated by about 2 or 3 car lengths. A bad exit for Causey off at turn 2. And look at this. Casey trying to go the longer way around the racetrack for the center for the runner-up spot. Now he thought about diming in the corner, and he is right there on the back bumper of the Rockstar 8. Back on board with Causey. Now you saw the 24 of Salvo get loose. Had to catch it. Good racing here at the moment. You go back to 5th. Jacob Plank and Rick Baldwin have been pretty much dueling with each other nearly the entire race. Plank had a hole, now has to back out of it. As Baldwin slammed the door right in his face, and you could see it on board. Tries once again. Plank is showing his nose. He's just got to stay side by side at turn number 1 to get the run. That's what he's doing right now. And it works this time. Plank to 5th. Baldwin thought about diming in the corner, and now you saw Hurst have to check up after Ledford cracked the wall. And again, that car is wicked tight as things stand. Go back up to the front of the field. Your top 4 drivers all under a blanket. Morton, Causey, Casey, or Salvo Morton, remember, can't be looking at that rear view mirror. Just focus on hitting your marks up front. Second groove for Morton, first groove for Causey. Morton pulled away just a bit. Who was the faster car, though? It was Morton by 100th. And now, Casey throwing a block at Salvo in the race for third. Allow the top 3 cars to pull away. It's a great race between your top 4 cars for the lead. See if Salvo goes for it once again. Casey does not want to be losing third right now. That would be an extra point for the 48, a free point for the 48 right now. This is your best battle on the racetrack for the lead. No drivers currently door-to-door as they stand. Again, everyone's focused on hitting their marks. And the top 4 are just about identical, like you're watching a street stock race. Morton gathering some asphalt off for turn number 4, using that higher groove to see if that can pay off. Causey had an open lane, but could not pull off to the quarter pound. Now a bad exit for Morton. Causey tries to pull up to the door. Side by side, the front 2 rows. Causey puts her out back front. Your third lead change of the day here at Richmond. And now look at this. Casey past Morton, which is huge here, as we're approaching the halfway point. And now here comes Jacob Plank to make it a 4-man race, this time for second, as Causey already had some of that fake nitrous oxide in his car. And he's opened up the gap to 0.6 of a second. That's the biggest lead anyone has had so far. Salvo for a podium spot. The 48's in trouble right now. Oh, but Salvo got a little bit loose off for 4. He now has to deal with the hands of Plank. So Morton hanging on to a podium spot, but again, Morton's got all the bonus points pretty much at the moment. And that is helping him slowly increase this lead. For those wondering how scoring works, it's just like NASCAR, 40, then 35, 34, 33. Plank again, tried on Salvo for 4th. Could not get it to work. While we were at it, we were past the halfway mark. As Joseph Causey continues to lead, now Mike Casey looks to close in. But back to third, and now Morton all the way up top. Hanging on to that baby for dear life. Looks like he's dirt tracking it, running the cushion. Got a report as well a little while ago. Jeffrey Ledford has jumped to the pits. Unfortunate ending to the driver of the number 01. And remember, he had been fighting an ill race car. Now the leaders are approaching lap traffic, and Dom Salvo is disadvantaged there. Jonathan Vandenberg helped out Jacob Plank, used him as a pick, and now Plank underneath for third. Plank has a car that definitely improves lap by lap. We saw that at Texas last time out, and now Plank is up to third, and here comes Salvo for 4th, but up the hill he goes. Salvo still trying each and every lap. Now he crisscrosses him. I think Morton just let him go. Either that or the 48 just got sideways. Big trouble right now for Morton. He desperately needs a caution. But it's Joseph Causey that is your race leader at the moment. 1.5 seconds is the gap between him and Casey. I'm going to shut up. It's time to turn up the volume. Let's crank it up. Back to the action we go here as we work lap number 74. Mark Morton now back in 5th position. Racing Rick Baldwin and Johnny Hurst. This is, folks, your best battle on the racetrack as things stand. You can see the delta that's going through. But again, Mark Morton has been losing time each and every lap. Let's pull up the time delta. I don't know if this will do you any justice. It's just been wild for Morton. Long run is not his best friend, and now behind him, Johnny Hurst moves up to 6th past Rick Baldwin. He's been improving lap by lap and racing Baldwin hard. Baldwin trying to find a hole to get that 6th spot back. Go right there. Hurst up into 6th. Lead is up to 2.2 seconds as leaders work lap traffic. While we are at it, gives us a chance to remind you, next week, championship night at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Michael Casey or Mark Morton for the championship. You'll have to find out. It's going to be a good one. We'll be live at at 7 p.m. on Slide Job Racing Network. Perfect night to have 2 screens on at once. One screen for the NFL Championship game and the other one for SVT Gen 6 Renegades. Put this one on either your iPhone, iPad, or your computer, and the other game on the big screen. But we probably think you should put it on the big screen as we provide the broadcast quality stuff. So, ooh, Michael Casey just barely getting past Greg Jolly and using it as a pick. Open up some daylight on Jacob Plank. Here's how these last 5 laps have looked. And Plank has been the better car on this long run, picking up about 1-2 tenths on average. That time, though, Casey was able to pick up about 100th. So that gap is slowly closing. There you see how it looks. You're on board with that 153. 40 laps to go at Richmond. see Casey inside that race car. You know, I think he's trying to figure out, you know, where's the grip on this racetrack? And that's something Casey's been known for doing pretty well. That lead for Joseph Causey, excuse me, is at this rate gigantic. 3.6 seconds. He continues to increase it and increase it and increase it. So let's give you a full field rundown as things stand, and you see the entire leaderboard on your screen. First off, pardon me, 4 drivers out of the race right now. Jeffrey Ledford in the 3 lane. Stephen Shue and Matthew Warrow taking show-up points tonight. Joseph Causey with a 3.9 second lead on Michael Casey. You see Casey in second, trying to pick up some points and close the gap on Mark Morton heading into next week at Homestead, Miami. There you see the race for second. It's closed down. Jacob Plank in that 3rd position. The moment for another podium finish. Dom Salvo, an incredible run. It's been really quiet a lot this season, but I believe, in my opinion, his best run of the season so far in 4. Mark Morton round out the top 5 and 50. He's led the most laps so far. And then, unfortunately, long runs just have not been his friends. He likes the short run for sure at Richmond Raceway. Johnny Hurst in the 6th spot. Again, has been improving each and every lap. Nice run for him. Rick Baldwin currently scored in 7th on the racetrack. He's been fading a little bit on this long run. James Wagner, after spinning to bring out our first yellow of the day, he's currently scored in the 8th spot. Oh, wait a second, though. Got really tight and was chasing Greg Jolly. Paul Helms, you see him currently scored in the 9th position after he started 8th on the day. Bradley Worley currently rounds out the top 10. And the last car on the lead lap, Richard Hartman wants a yellow. He's the first driver a lap down in 11th. Greg Jolly currently scored in 12th. He is 3 laps down. He was the first man to pit in this race. Jeff Scott running in 13th position. Bill Porter in the 14th spot. He brought out our 2nd yellow this evening. And as we say that now, he has actually called it a night. This is now turning into a 3-way race for the 2nd position. Advantage Dom Salvo. Casey's tires, they have started to fade a little bit. And Mark Morton in that 48 believes he may still have some fight in him. In the words of Randy Marsh from South Park, I didn't hear no bell. Here goes Plank for 2nd. And to let off, obviously, Casey was able to keep his foot on the brake less. Salvo also closing in. Morton's up there too. Once again, Salvo loose off the corner. Back on board that number 48. And Salvo really tight. That car cannot go on the first groove. It can only stay on the 2nd. And now the 48 and the 24 are door to door. And that's allowing Plank and Casey to race for 2nd. Salvo nearly scrapes the wall off for 2. That could have been dangerous. And you just see Morton send it in, nearly slide job it, and take the 4th spot back. If Dom Salvo, though, can keep this car in the top 5, I'd say that's a very successful day for him. Paul Helms on pit row in the 64. He may have blown a tire. And Bradley Worley also in the pits of the 88. So pit stops, a possibility here. Some drivers just could not Hang on to the tires the drivers were on. Ooh, Blake dirt tracking it off at turn 2. Helms is out of pit road and staying with Worley, both 4-tire pit stops. Now Casey on that middle line, not what you want to do. Back on board with the number 153. Are approaching some lap traffic. That's Richard Hartman, the third in the 52. And it is getting good for this runner-up spot. Hartman lets them go with ease. However, though, slows up Morton and put the 52 on the wall. There's more contact. And Hartman's got rear end damage. I don't believe that was on purpose, but Morton was probably not too pleased at either himself or the 52. That cost him about 3/4 of a second, if not a half second. We've got Jonathan Vandenberg on pit road. Just going to confirm something here real quick. Yeah, nothing when it came to fuel-wise. But now here goes Plank for the runner-up spot. They nearly touch. Oh, hang on, Plank. Great save, but this allows Morton to close in, trying to fight for now our podium spot. Not what you want if you're Michael Casey at the same time, as Casey increases the lead once again in the championship. And now Lucy Goosey again is the 6. While we are at it, as we have 19 laps to go, we have not mentioned it yet, but let's get a word from our official sponsor of SVT in Protexol.
Enterprises, just like race teams, know when something is broken. They simply cannot meet their expectations. They've tried countless things, and though they sometimes yield small improvements, they eventually fail. Now what? Protexol has spent 35 years building a superior enterprise performance solution. COPS, Continuous Operational Process Synergy. COPS is the #1 strategy for client-owned, top-to-bottom, front-to-back enterprises and race teams to achieve exponential performance. Organizations, like race teams, use COPS as the backbone to win. Everything from car design, engines, pit stops, races, and championships to market segment dominance. COPS equals winning? Yes, it really is that simple. So let me ask you a question. Do you want to be a leader or a follower? If your answer is a leader, then there is only one choice. COPS from Protexol. Visit Protexol.com to learn more.
15 laps to go, and we have not talked about in a while your leader in Joseph Causey, because he is running away with a check right now. 9.3 second lead on Michael Casey. That is nearly a half a lap. Let's show you the track map. Casey's in the center of 3 and 4. That's absurd right now. That car must be hooked up on and jacked on Rockstar right now. Caution is out. That lead goes away. Richard Hartman has spun out, and he was the free pass car, so nobody gets a wave around. And there is a lot of damage on that 52. He's got a tire down, I believe, and it's on the left front. Tires, I believe, is going to be the key here. If you took tires, you likely get a wave around, and yeah, that 52 has lost complete steering. And that is an unfortunate toe, and likely an unfortunate end of the night for the number 52. Here's a look at what happened. Got a bumper by Rick Baldwin, who was a faster race car, and man, hit that wall pretty good. He's luckily didn't hit that opening. That would have been even worse, and he tried to back it off to make sure we stayed green, but unfortunately, the yellow came out. Let's look at another angle here. This is going to give us a great shot right here. Bang. Money stops are underway. And one driver decided not to pit as Causey, no surprise there, wins out the race off pit road after the lead he had. Who comes out second? Dom Salvo comes out second. Casey beats out Morton for third. The big win is the 24. I believe, though, that Dom Salvo took 2 tires instead of 4. And Morton beat out Michael Casey. That's a big stop right there for the 48 as well. Let's ride on board as well with Richard Hartman III. So that third caution of the race will definitely change everything. And we know who is better on the long run. That's Joseph Causey, but a 10-lap shootout or a 9-lap shootout's not even a long run. Advantage for the 48 maybe of Mark Morton to pick up his second win. Remember, if Causey wins today, he'll have the most wins of anyone. He'll officially clinch it. Dom Salvo, though, looking for the upset and to take home win number 1. And again, without question, his best run of the season so far. And then Jacob Plank in that number 153 looking for win 2. Was chasing after Michael Casey until that long run came to a halt. Now you see everybody warming up the tires as we are moments away from going back to green. Will be an 8-lap shootout at Richmond. You see both Vandenberg and Jolly. They are your wave around cars. And there you see from our drone, Joseph Causey selects the inside line. Him and Dom Salvo each share row 1. Mark Morton restarts 3rd. Michael Casey 4th, Jacob Plank 5th, Johnny Hurst 6th, 7th is Rick Baldwin, 8th is James Wagner. Those are the only drivers on the lead lap. 9th is Paul Helms, 10th Bradley Worley. Each of them are a lap down as things stand. Oh, but if you're the 24, not a good time to blank, and he hasn't appeared back in a while. I think we decided to go an extra lap to make sure he was back in. You did see, too, some slight contact at the right front off of Michael Casey. He's blinking even more. Oh, man, I hope this does not lead to a penalty. That would be unfortunate. Yeah, I think they're going to have to bring him on pit road. Because we're about to go back to the green flag. But now I think Salvo's got it fixed. I think he does. All right, we'll try this. He's still blinking, and we're back to green. Salvo stacked the field up. He stacked up Casey. Spun the tires. Not what he wanted to do. Causey trying to pull away. Morton up to second. Casey comes down on plank and has 4th. Now wants 3rd on the 24. 6 laps to go. Casey takes it 3 wide. Could be a big championship move there. Backs out of it. Morton up the hill. Fighting Salvo big time. 3 wide again. Casey still trying for 3rd. Now Joseph Causey has turned on the afterburners. 1 second lead with 5 laps remaining. Oh, Casey and Plank touch. Casey and Plank touch. Plank's hanging on to it. Scrapes the wall. Everyone keeps it straight. That's a tough break for the 153. Loses out on 5th. We'll need a caution flag. Meanwhile, Joseph Causey, fresh tires. Best lap of the day right now at 21:28. Back to the race for 2nd. Morton and Salvo have been side by side for the last 2 miles. Morton wants it big time and he takes it. Now he needs a yellow to get back in this race. And he slams the door right in front of Casey. Big cut down low, and Casey sideways. Oh no! Casey's around and same with Jeff Scott. No caution yet. We have a yellow. We're going to overtime. And I don't think the mistake was for the 6. I think the yellow is for Jeff Scott, who was trying to avoid Michael Casey. But that just changed everything. Oh, you know what happened. Let's get you another look at it. Too much throttle. You see the rear tires skid. Trying everything, fighting the car, trying to pass Salvo for 3rd. And that's a good lick into that inside wall with 3 tires off the ground. And let's ride on board with Jeff Scott here too. Now, I think at this point you stay out. His track position right now is better than tires. That's what I would do right now. Everyone's got at least a set or 2. If you want tires, take him. Michael Casey, I think, came in for the quick repair. So now, that's the yellow you wanted if you're Mark Morton. We'll restart on the front row with Joseph Causey. And now I got some good feeling that a bumper or 2 is going to be used. All right, field. They believe it'll be 1 lap to green this time by. And our first of 2 attempts at overtime are coming up. And you know the drill. If a caution comes out before the white flag, we'll have 1 more attempt at it. But then in that second attempt, if yellow comes out before the white, the race ends. If we do take the white flag, we are guaranteed going to the checkered flag. Fourth caution of the day. Joseph Causey, Mark Morton, Dom Salvo, or the field. Who's it going to be? How's it going to be done? We're about to find out. Green-white checker down to the wire. Oh, Dom Salvo spun the tires and goes around. Caution comes out again, and we'll have one more attempt at it. And the chances for a great day have gone south for Salvo. 2 tires was probably not the answer. Is again spinning the tires, coming back to green, this time a little bit too much. And he's got damage to show for it. We'll watch it again. Actually, that may have been some net. Nope, he actually came down knowing he spun the tires and was hanging on for it. So that was not a netcode deal. However, though, but that accident though will be on him, unfortunately. Let's ride on board. It's like he was restarting in first gear. Obviously, we don't know. But we heard that engine revving. Unfortunately, that puts Salvo back into the 9th spot. So we will try this for the final time in just a moment. It's been a great race here, that's for sure. We have one more attempt at it. Don't forget, next week, Homestead Miami Speedway for 120 laps to end the season. To crown a champion, Morton or Casey. Staying under caution for right now. And we'll have to see here if for Casey right now as things stand, if this is a race he would drop. I can't tell you right now. If he was in 3rd right now, gap would be up to somewhere, I would say around 10 points or so. Casey, though, did lose the fastest race lap, 3 bonus points to Joseph Causey for right now. And we are keeping the lights on once again. I'm not sure what this long caution is for. But I know I want to go back to green just as bad as you guys. All right, now the lights are off. Our final yellow. We had 5 cautions in this race tonight. Could be 6 possibly, but you never know. Who knows? Causey and Moore in the front row, and will likely be the 2 drivers that will battle for this win. They've been the only 2 leaders in this race so far. They've been dominating this. We'll see who leads the most laps, though, at the end. It's been so close to tell but we're ready to come back to green. Final attempt. If a caution comes out before the white, this race is over. The restart that Causey needed has a car length and a half advantage on Mark Morton. Remember, the 48's racing for points. He doesn't really need a win, especially with Casey in 7th, but Morton wants that win just as bad as Causey does. Off at turn 4, white flags in the air, we're on the last lap. Can Causey hang on? The Rockstar Energy, University of Miami, U.S. Army, number 8. He's got 3 wins on the season and is about to go back-to-back. Off for turn 4, Joseph Causey, win 4 of the season at Richmond. It's dirt tracking time. And Morton picks up. We'll have to double check here. Picked up 9 points tonight on Michael Casey. So the gap unofficially going to Homestead Miami is 15 for the number 48 as Causey is lighting the tires up. And we will get your top 3 all in here. In just a moment here, bear with us. Again, just waiting for Joseph Causey to join us in. And while we are gathering your top 3, a look at your race results from tonight. Causey the winner, Morton 2nd, Plank 3rd, Hurst 4th, Baldwin 5th, Wagoner 6th, Casey 7th, Helms 8th, Salvo 9th, and Jeff Scott rounded out the top 10. Excuse me, Scott was your biggest mover tonight, a 4 from 14th. Then you look at the rest of the results. Worley, Jolly, Hartman the 3rd, Vandenberg, Porter, Ledford, Freelane, Shoe, and Whirl only received show-up points tonight. So we begin with the top 3, and we go to Jacob Plank. Jacob, in that long run, you were really hanging on there in that stint. Did you want that second caution to come out just as bad as guys like Morton and Casey? Did you want that second caution as bad as everyone else?
I don't know. I mean, I was having fun, kind of letting it slide around there for a little bit. It was a good long green flag run. I love long runs like that. And you know, I saw the caution. I was kind of, I don't know. I liked seeing the caution thing yet again. I was kind of like, you know, I'd like to see how it all unfold. I think the 48 was catching me there. He was fast too, but the 8 man, the 8 was on, you know, on rails. No one was touching him tonight. So congrats to Joe. He was the fastest car. Period.
What do you take away from this run tonight?
I guess I just take away that I had to save. I didn't save my tires as much as I should have. Also took away that Joe is a very good short track racer. So you know, if he races next season, we got some short tracks. He'll be one to watch. But that's about all I've learned from tonight.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
Just the usual. You know, you for broadcasting this race, announcing it. I appreciate that, and then as well as the admins, everyone who puts these races on every Sunday night. Fun league, and be back next week.
Alrighty, well, we will let you go. Great job, and best luck at Homestead.
Yep, thank you.
All right, now we move on to our second place finisher in Mark Morton. Mark, first off, I will be the first to let you know that I believe the gap when we tally up the bonus points will be 15 on Mike Casey going in to Homestead Miami next week. First off, give me your thoughts as you hear that.
Well, 15 points is a nice little buffer, but it's not enough. Casey is one heck of a driver, and any any whether it's getting pole, leading a lap, points matter between Casey and I, especially going into the last race of the season. Um, it's been one hell of a season. I've enjoyed racing Casey and everybody throughout the season, but one more race to go, and hopefully come out with the SVT championship. But anything can happen at Homestead. Kazi shows, then it's just gonna, especially that being his home track. Yeah, I doubt he'll miss that. So it'll be just pretty much as long as I finish in front of KC, I should be all right.
We saw you on our longest run of the race, obviously fading, and then you were able to improve, gather it back up. What did you find, or what did you realize, or I should say instead, that kind of helped you as well, try and gain some ground to back up?
Well, seeing that 8 car in your mirror doesn't matter who you are, especially in SVT. It's a little intimidating. While he's saving tire, he'll force you to he will force you to use he will force you to use your tires up. He did, and then finally I just let him go. And then Casey and Plank and Dom was all right there, so I let him go. I cooled my tires off a little bit. I knew it was going to be a long run because everybody's very good, and once I cooled my tires off, I was breaking in a lot earlier just so I can get a better drive off, and just slowly but surely reeling them all in.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
Definitely my teammates, Jeff, James, Dougie, Rick, um, you, of course, for always broadcasting. By the way, I'm a little salty with you for not showing up last week. I understand you had your own stuff going on, but I had this beautiful paint scheme for you all set up for Charlotte. Um, but so I decided to run it there and run it tonight just for you.
What scheme? Oh, it was this one.
Yeah, this one. I mean, just
Okay.
to me, the way the light just glows off the scheme is just
I
it's
do like it.
beautiful.
I will admit, it is a nice scheme. So
And that'll definitely give that a shot. Johnny was the one that painted it for me. So um, yeah, uh, that's it.
well, I look forward to seeing what you got planned for Homestead, Miami. Best of luck to you next week, and a great run for you.
Thank you, sir.
Mark Morton, your runner-up finisher here tonight. And now we get set to go to Victory Lane and talk with your winner this evening, and that is Joseph Causey. Joseph,
Yep.
what a run. I got to ask, what were your thoughts when that caution came out with that, especially after that huge lead?
I was kind of devastated. I was like, man, they had to let me work a little bit harder for it. But I don't know. I had what you call it? I had faith in my ability to be able to make it happen.
How good, though, was this race car you had tonight?
Very good. I got the brakes dialed in very good. I was able to make the car rotate the way I wanted. I didn't figure it out at first until later on, and I dropped the brake buys down. It's been a while since I've been here with this car. But once I got it figured out, it dialed in the way I liked to get the car to rotate. We took off.
Now you have the most wins of anyone this season. Officially clinched that with 4 tonight. I do want to ask you, you are one of the best drivers we have this season. Are you making considerations to go full-time next year?
I don't know yet. I don't know what my schedule is looking like as far as right now, but we will see.
Okay.
And hopefully we will.
Well,
Maybe.
we hope to see you full-time, that's for sure. Will we see you next week at Homestead, though?
Should be.
Okay, good. How are you feeling going in?
Well, we'll just have to see. That's my hometown track. I lived
Alrighty.
in North Miami Beach for 14 years of my life since I was born, and that was my hometown track. That was the second racetrack I ever went to. Daytona was the first.
All right.
So, but I was there for all three configurations, so I'll try to be there.
Good to hear. No pressure for you though going in. Just saying.
Yep.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on this run?
Hey, shout out to the league, great league. Shout out to broadcast. Love to go watch it back and go see it again. And shout out to everybody. You know, everybody tries to drive pretty clean here, and you know, there ain't a ton of cautions usually.
Absolutely. Well, we'll let you go. Congratulations, great win, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Hopefully so. Thank you.
Absolutely. That is your race winner tonight, Joseph Causey, in the number 8 Rockstar Energy Racing Machine. And so that will do it for us here tonight. And a reminder, next week we go to Homestead, Miami. 7 p.m. start time. You don't want to miss it right here on Sly Job Racing Network. That'll do it for us here tonight. On behalf of everyone at the SVT Renegade Racing League, all the fine drivers and our sponsors, Marty Sakala signing off. Congratulations to Joseph Causey, your winner at Richmond. So long, everyone.
We hope you enjoyed this evening's race, brought to you by Protexol. Congratulations to the winners, and good luck